All right, we are talking NFC football. We are excited to give a conference preview for our picks for the NFC 2025 season. Yeah, I'm pretty excited, man. I think the NFC has some contending teams this year, and I feel like we give a lot of attention to the AFC. I'm excited to come over and talk about this conference. So before we do that, I just want to remind everyone we are now partnered with RotoViz. So maybe you're listening to us there, or maybe you're listening to us outside of RotoViz and you need to go check it out. They do a lot of awesome fantasy football stuff. So go check all of that out. What else? Check us out. YouTube, Twitter, all X, all the places. Hit all the good buttons for us. So we're excited.
Hey, this isn't your first day listening to a show. Just help us out. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Whatever it is, do it.
And if this is your first podcast and you don't know how this works, then
give me a call.
Then please.
It's the part of the show that we all roll our eyes at. Let's call it what it is.
Hey, but I am excited to talk NFC football, Eric.
Yep, I want to hear what are y'all most excited about for these teams. Give me your best NFC take, and then we'll dive into it.
Best NFC take, or what we're most excited to see?
Either. Like, what's your NFC hot take, or what are you most excited to see?
I'm most excited to see what happens in the NFC West. I think that division is wide open and could quite literally go in any of the ways. I'm also, I don't know if it's a hot take. I think Bryce Young is officially back, and adding T-Mac to that, he's going to explode. And I think the NFC South is also wide open.
I love it.
I don't know if I Kyle Pitts revenge year. The Kyle Pitts tour is officially starting. Train is leaving the station, fellas. So jump on now.
7 years ago, maybe?
Ride of your life. Ride of your life.
So you've drafted him in how many leagues this year?
I didn't do any redraft this year. Oh, no, I didn't. I did have one redraft, the Scott Fish Bowl. And I think I did get him in that one, too. Cheers.
Did you really? Heck yeah. I'm here for it, baby.
It's tight end premium. I think tight end receptions count double. So,
okay. Nice.
Let's go.
Nice. I would love to see it.
Nice.
Maybe not, because I have a Drake London future, and it would severely hurt that. But I don't know. We'll see.
There we go.
That is awesome. Stefan, what about you? Any other hot takes?
Kyle Pitts. No, I'm with Mike on both of those. I'm extremely interested in the West. My oldest son, has never really been super into football, but he's kind of into the Broncos this year, but he also has ties to Seattle. So rocking the Seahawks hat. I think we're going to watch some games this year. It'll be fun. I'm excited to see what is going to happen with JJ McCarthy in Minnesota after sitting for a year, and Minnesota's quarterback going to the Seahawks. So that kind of blend is, or those transitions are super interesting. All the wide receiver movement. I'm just excited to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I am very excited to see the Packers this year.
There it is.
Man, I am not a Packers fan, but I do think all of a sudden with the Micah Parsons trade, even without it, honestly, but with it, I think very much they are. I think they could very likely knock the Eagles out of being the favorites to make it to the Super Bowl. Like, I think the Packers. I would be more likely to bet the Packers to make it to the Super Bowl. Like, I just think,
I'm gonna find that for you.
Yeah, that team. That team's gonna be good. I think Micah Parsons might have just put them over the top for this season. I'm just a little biased. Like, I'm a Broncos fan, so having the best pass rusher in the league, or one of, does put your defense over the top. Like, Von Miller won us a Super Bowl almost single-handedly back in 2016. So I really believe in having an elite pass rusher that was putting an already good team, an already competitive team. Now I think that puts them over the top, and it's just one player. So
plus 600, baby, plus 600.
Yeah, we'll side piece that when we talk about the Packers. Let's do that. Why not? That sounds good to me. Let's dive into picks. We're going to do what we did with the AFC and kind of how we follow our episodes. So we're looking forward to coming to y'all every week with picks in the NFL. And typically what we'll do is we'll cover teams and then picks against the spread, totals, our favorite things for the week there. And then we'll move into player props. So we're going to do that again here today. We're going to start with team picks. We're going to move into player props. Again, you're not going to hurt our feelings if you fast forward to player props, because that's all you care about. So I'm just giving you a heads up. Let's dive straight into it, though. Stefan, why don't you give us your first NFC futures pick?
Wow, I wasn't ready to go first, but I will go first.
We were just talking about Mike usually first.
Yeah. We were just talking about the Minnesota Vikings. This team went 14-3 last year. Yes, that was with Sam Darnold. He's gone now, but not because they think they're like, oh, they're losing their superstar and who are they going to replace them with? No, JJ McCarthy's the man. I have all the confidence in the world in Kevin O'Connell to be able to repeat the offensive production with JJ McCarthy. I think Jordan Mason is going to have a breakout here at running back behind Aaron Jones. It's going to be an exciting team to watch. I don't think they have a step off from last year. I think the schedule's a little bit more difficult. I think 14 wins is not probably likely, but they don't need 14 wins to make the playoffs. And at plus 105, I really like this bet. So Minnesota Vikings to make the playoffs, plus 105. I believe in Kevin O'Connell. I think offensive, like teams that focus on offense and want to play an expansive vertical game, I like it. I'm all in. So give me the Vikings to make the playoffs.
I'm a big O'Connell fan too, man. I think like the teams that he's coached, I think he is impressive. He feels like a dude who's just gonna like always kind of be hanging around the playoff picture.
Yeah, and you have success with Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins as your backup quarterbacks when they come in and like actually play and still win games. Like that's something to be said for the head coach there.
And I forgot to mention, as I do, I almost always just focus on the offense, but the Vikings allowed the fewest points per game last year. And part of that's because they got to play the Bears twice. But they get to play them twice again this year too. So, I mean, the Packers being in that division, that's tough. But, again, I don't expect 14-3. I don't expect them to win that many, but I think they win 10 games. I think they get in.
I like that. I like that pick to make to make the playoffs. It really helps me with my argument that I'll make later about a team to miss the playoffs. So, Mike, what's your first pick?
Speaking of playing bad teams twice, last year the Falcons got to play the Panthers twice, and they get to do that again. I think Bryce Young is back. I don't think the Panthers defense is back, and that's part of the reason why I am massive on the Falcons this year. First place is going to be over 7.5 wins. They have the fourth easiest strength of schedule. Tough start. You start against the Bucks, Commanders, Bills, and 49ers in the first 6 games. But then you have a stretch where you have the Dolphins, Pats, Colts, Panthers, Saints, and Jets in a row.
Man, I don't think you can pick worse teams.
Yeah, seriously. Penix, I thought he looked great last year in the 3 games that he played. Granted, it was against like the Panthers. And he was also killed by drops. I think if play call opens up a little bit for him and they let him get the ball vertical downfield, pairing that with Bijan behind this offensive line, I really expect this team to take a step forward offensively. Defensively, you grab James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker in the first round of the draft. They're going to come in, and James Pierce looked fantastic in the preseason. So I expect the defense to take another significant step up, and you only need 8 wins to hit this. That's not crazy challenging to me. I think this, and I always say I think here because it's obviously a homer play, but I think this is my favorite play of the NFL so far.
Dang, that is, it is a homer play, and saying it's your favorite is pretty impressive. We got some good like props and things that I feel like are locked. So say this is your favorite. I like it. Yeah,
I'm super curious about this Falcons team. Yeah,
I'm Penix. You're too very excited. As an owner, no one cares about your fantasy team, but as an owner of Bijan Robinson, it feels like that year that's like, man, if you have that he might be like the dude this year that like if you had him on your team, you won your league kind of a thing. So.
Oh, he's definitely a league winner if he stays healthy. I mean, so the offensive line, PFF had him ranked 7th in the league before Kevin McGary got injured last week. Mm-hmm. And then he's got Elijah Wilkinson come in, and he's like a 10-year vet. So it's like you're going to take a step back because he's not McGary, but you're at least replacing him with somebody who knows what he's doing. He's played every position on the line so far. Bijan's going to be explosive, man. He's really the only person competing with Penix or with London for significant targets, in my opinion. Sorry, Steve. So he's going to dominate. I've got a player propping him coming up here soon too.
I mean, Darnell Mooney's always kind of secretly, quietly right there too. Here's my question. If Penix makes that step or not, the pro on Penix, I believe he was tied for first last season in air yards per completion over the final couple of weeks when he was, running the ship there. He attempted 26 passes of 15 or more air yards in those final 2 weeks, which is more than anyone. Here's the problem. His completion percentage over expected was negative 5.3. So he was completing less than he should have been. Does that change this year? If it changes this year, that offense is explosive because you said they've already got Bijan. Now, if they're able to go vertical with Pitts or London, if they can improve on that, this team is dangerous. So
the thing
that's what I'll be looking at.
Yeah, and if you didn't watch those games, you missed that we had like 6 drops in those games too. You catch like Kyle Pitts had a touchdown in the end zone, hit him like right in the chest, and it just fell out of his hands. You fix that, and I think that improves a little bit. But to get thrown in, the last 3 weeks of the season on a team that in a lot of ways has already been eliminated, like, I don't know, you re-enter into the hype of expectations. Everybody's going to be playing, at a different level. So, I don't know, man. It's in a very intriguing year as an Atlanta fan right now.
Yeah, I will. I will move that into mine, which is going to. We'll see how Mike you feel about your team winning the division. I'm going to take the Bucks though to win the NFC South at minus 120. I like the number. I just think the Bucks are the solid team until they're not. I think the other teams are just unproven, including the Falcons. Like no one's proven it yet, and until they do, I'm going to take the Bucks, who are just really solid. Baker has proven himself to now be a solid quarterback option. Really well coached team. Even since Tom Brady's left, like this is just a solid team. I don't think they're a great team, but I think they're solid. And I see 3 other unproven. Well, the Saints are just god awful, but I see 2 other unproven teams. Even if they have high potential, they still got to prove it. So I'm going to take the Bucks minus 120 to win that division.
There's a reason why I didn't take the Falcons to win the division at plus 225, right? Like, I agree with you. I do think they are still the better team. And even like with a new offensive coordinator, and this is now Baker's 3rd offensive coordinator at the Bucks, and it hasn't stopped him yet. So I agree with you. I think the Bucks are the clear better team right now in that division.
Yeah, we're gonna get some. I'm gonna get really far. Well, a lot of people will, but I'm gonna be doing some Survivor pools this year, and it's going to be a lot of us picking whoever's playing the Saints in Survivor for the week. So that's how that's going to go.
Then they're going to come out and beat the Cowboys like by 50 again in week 2.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, cool. Well, let's circle back to Stefan. You had you had
I have one more
another pick for us. Yep.
I have one more team pick.
Yep.
And kind of went back and forth on how I want to play this. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks to make the playoffs. You can also get them over 8.5 wins at plus 100. I like both. I don't remember what the juice is on the Seahawks. I think it was like plus 160. So that's why I like them to make the playoffs. Hey, y'all know one of my favorite teams. I have a few. Is the Baltimore Ravens. Incredible legacy of defense that they have there. Mike McDonald comes over after serving as the defensive coordinator. He's now in his 2nd year. We saw how good that defense was last year. They're returning 13 of their 16 most players that played in 300 plus snaps. So they're bringing a lot back on defense. I think this is going to be a team that is led by their defense, which I think will be very solid. And then you look at their offense, you look at those running backs. I think Zach Charbonnet might be the best backup running back. And then Kenneth Walker, of course, is a huge home run hitter. I like that pairing a lot. Yes, they lose DK Metcalf, but I am a believer in Jackson Smith and Jigba. Torrey Horton, he started blowing up in the preseason. He looked really good. And then burying the lead, Cooper Kupp is now here. I think Cooper Kupp could still be very, very good if and when healthy. Hopefully for Seattle fans and Seattle backers, that's most of the season. Their depth on receiver is a little bit scary. If Kupp goes down, there could be some concerns there. But again, I think they primarily want to feature the running game, and I think the tight ends will be utilized as well. They've got some interesting young players there. So Seattle's super intriguing team. I think they're going to be led by their defense. I think it's going to be like old school Legion of Boom style, let the defense take you there. Russell Wilson, just don't screw this up. I think that'll be the story for Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold, super curious if he actually is good or not. He looked really good for most of the year last year until the wheels fell off. What happens in Seattle, I think. But I think the defense will put them in a situation where they succeed or can succeed. Will succeed.
I'm a bit of a contrarian that I don't think Sam Darnold's as good as he was for that stretch, but I also don't think he's as bad as he was for the end.
Right.
So I actually am not a Sam Darnold hater. I actually believe I believe Seattle will come in. I believe Seattle, worst case, to be third in that conference. I put the Cardinals, which is my next pick, as the fourth place team there. But Mike, any comments on Seattle before I move into that? Because I think it ties in nicely.
Dude, I absolutely love the Clint Kubiak hire as the new OC for Seattle. Ryan Grubbs came in, felt like he tried to implement a little bit too much of a college-minded offense out there, and I think Kubiak...
he did a great job for Bama this weekend, didn't he? Grubb back in Bama.
Man.
That was
man.
Anyway, sorry.
That was so bad.
I'm with you. I think that his offense is really going to open up Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, and those two guys are going to run through the throats of everybody. So, I like this play a lot.
I will tie this play directly into my play. I have the Cardinals to miss the playoffs at -140. So I really like that number. Let's just ignore the Seahawks. Let's say the Seahawks and Cardinals are evenly matched here. And to kind of come in even second in that conference. There's the teams that are just, I think, more likely to get wild card spots, because I think that's best case scenario for the Cardinals would be the Lions, the Rams, and the Commanders. So that's three teams for me. And then that's obviously assuming that the teams above them are not wild card contending, that they're already winning their divisions, right? So those would be essentially the three divisions where I'm I see three teams that get a wild card spot over the Cardinals. I feel very confidently. The Cardinals are kind of my least favorite team to get a wild card out of all the possibilities in the NFC. So I like the Seahawks better to get a wild card than I do the Cardinals to get one. So give me the Cardinals to miss the playoffs, -140. I do think they're a lot better this year. I'm excited. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go over to Phoenix. I'm next door. Watch Kyler and Michael Harrison Jr. play. I think they'll be better. They'll be more fun. It'll make that division super fun and competitive, but I think that's about it. So
I like it. One of my plays that I first put on the card that didn't make it was Cardinals to win more than 2 division games. And I couldn't convince myself to do it. The division is just too good. Yeah. So I like it.
Yep. Awesome. Well, let's move on to a pick that Mike and I share. Actually, we already talked about this at the top with the Packers, but I'll let Mike talk about his pick for the Packers, and we both are in agreement on this one. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, give us Packers to win the division. They finished 11-6 last year. Of those 6, 5 of the losses were 1-score games. 4 of those 1-score losses were by a field goal or less. And now you get Micah Parsons. Statistically, they were number 5 in points allowed last year. They gave up 20 points a game. But with that, PFF had them as the 5th worst pass rushing team in the country. You throw Micah Parsons into that, and you're only going to take a massive step forward. The Lions, they're obviously a hell of a talented team, but losing both of your coordinators and then coming off as good of a season as they did last year, you have to expect some level of regression there. From what I could find going back to 1984, there have been 9 15-win teams in the NFL. All but one of them lost at least 5 games the following season. And I don't know if 5 losses wins you this division this year. I really don't. So Packers at +165 to win the division. I like this one a lot too.
Yeah, it feels like a really good choice because of the uncertainty on the Lions. Would I be surprised if the Lions win that North? No, but for all the reasons I said with Micah Parsons and all of that, I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers. I also am just giving, to me, I lean towards if you think the Packers and Lions are kind of equal, I just give the Packers like some home field advantage at Lambeau. That I know the Lions have. Everyone has good home field advantage, but that Lambeau home field advantage when you're coming in,
Some of us are Jacksonville fans.
Not all of us.
No home field advantage.
Yeah,
there.
I mean they get later in the season. They get the like division games in late November. They get the Vikings and the Bears and Lambeau, and then I know it's not a division game, but they get the Ravens. So like a good team has to come in late December and play in Lambeau, and I'm just giving the Packers the home field nod over Vikings to kind of pull that off in the division. So I kind of feel the same way. It's why I didn't bet the Broncos to win the AFC West. Going back to the AFC show is because I just feel like the Chiefs, as much I hate to say it, because I love Mile High and I love the advantage that we have, like with everything, like it's just a fact that the Chiefs have the best home field right now. So I would still lean the team that has the best home field in the season right now. So that's my reasoning. That is it for team picks, though. We are going to move into player props. So I know I did not pick any NFC player props in this one, but you all have some juicy ones for us. Mike, I think you have the most, so you get to kick us off.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you two. I'll give you both of my Falcons plays here. I'm going to take Bijan to have the most rushing yards in the NFC South at -110. This one floored me. Don't get me wrong, dude. I love me some Bucky Irving, but he's not that ground and pound guy. Hell of a PPR player. He was outsnapped by Rachaad White last year. I fully expect that to change this year. Chuba Hubbard, one of the best values, I think, in fantasy football right now. But it's the Panthers. There's no way he's going to lead the league. And then we've already talked about how bad the Saints are. So you're telling me one of the top 3 rushers in the NFC playing in debatably the worst division in football is only at -110 to lead the division in rushing? Like, that seems crazy to me. Give me that at -110. I'm also going to move over to Drake London and take him over 1,125.5 receiving yards. Michael Penix last year, he started the final 3 games. In that time, Drake London averaged 13 targets for 117 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns on top of it. This dude's going to be hyper targeted by Michael Penix. I've already talked about how I expect Penix to take a step forward.
Yep.
If he does that, Drake London has a chance to, bold prediction, lead the league. Not saying he's going to. He has a chance to lead the league in receiving this year. But yeah, over 1,125, that's quite low for what his talent level is if Penix takes a step forward.
Lots of Falcons picks for Mike. Which
this could severely bite me in the ass.
We need to know that these are homer picks. Mike is a massive Falcons fan. So take that as you will, but you could also be very right. And all of this hits. Let's
the insider info.
Exactly. Hey, let's jump over to Stefan. What you got for us for your player prop? You have one for us.
Yeah, so we're gonna take Teteroa McMillan on his touchdown prop. We're gonna take him over 4.5 at -150. Today marks the 1-year anniversary as we record here on September 1st, where McMillan had 4 touchdowns in 1 game. Yes, it wasn't college, but still, in honor of him just destroying New Mexico, we're going to play him today to do one better for the entire season. Yes, I know he plays on the Panthers. They could be a very, very bad team. I don't think they're going to be that bad. I think the trade that they just did of Adam Thielen out shows their confidence in Ted McMillan. I think one of the reasons this number is so low is he has had some hamstring injury that's been kind of nagging him in the preseason, but he looks good to go for the upcoming week 1 slate already. So to kind of see if this was a ridiculous bet or not, I jumped over to RotoViz using one of their tools, which I highly recommend, is the projection machine. The cool thing about this is it takes every team and it looks at the historical data as well as coaching trends and all that kind of stuff. And you get a breakdown of the entire team. It kind of builds everything from the anticipated pass attempts and rush attempts on the season. If you look at the Panthers, they have been a close to 60% passing team over the last few years. So let's assume that continues. You're looking at Bryce Young putting up, let me just read this real quick. 545 pass attempts. They only predict him to have 18 touchdowns on the year, so that's not very high. But then if you look at how they project the receiving targets to go and the the touchdown to reception rate, it shows you the anticipated final of Ted McMillan finishing the season with 5.2 touchdowns on the year. So we get over that 4.5. It's not predicting anything crazy. It doesn't have him for over 1,000 yards or anything like that. It's not looking for some blow up season. I do think that is in the range of possibilities. I think he could be like what Brian Thomas Jr. was for the Jaguars last year. I think he could get crazy. If you have the opportunity to ladder this, I certainly would. I don't think I can in Colorado on DraftKings, but getting Ted McMillan to get 5, 6, 7 touchdowns, I'm all in. 5 was at -150, so it felt like a solid play.
I love this. Xavier Legette had 4 touchdowns for the Panthers last year as a rookie, and T-Mac is a far superior receiver than Xavier Legette.
6'5", 220-ish pounds. Like, he's a touchdown scorer. That's what he does.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love that play. I like taking like the dude who's probably going to be the best receiver on the team on a bad team because they're going to need to be throwing a lot. Well, they could be an improved team, but I'm saying
they're going to still be bad.
They're going to be they're going to be a developing team, for sure. All right, Mike, you have 2 more wide receiver plays for us, though.
I do. I'm going to stay in the NFC South. This is like the only place I felt like I could find value. My dude, Mike Evans, over 975.5 receiving yards. My dude has been over 1,000 yards in 11 straight seasons. He is currently tied with Jerry Rice for the most consecutive 1,000-yard plus yard receiver. You know they want him to be the sole number 1 and beat Jerry Rice on this. They're going after him. On top of that, you've got injuries in play in Tampa Bay right now. Chris Godwin, he did get off the pup finally, but he's probably going to miss at least 4 games. You've got Egbuka, who I think is going to be amazing there, but it's going to take time for rookies to get off to a hot start every year in the NFL, especially as a receiver. You watch him last year, and despite being 32, like the dude still has it. So he's had a rhythm with Baker since he got there. I really like him to get over 1,000 yards. And we just lost Eric, so that's fun.
Keep going.
So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and knock out my last play. Welcome back, Eric.
Yep, my bad. We're back.
I'm going to go actually, just kidding. I had this play in here, but he's in the AFC and not the NFC. So,
well, the projection machine likes your Mike Evans pick. They project him at 1271.
Well, why don't you?
1271.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to call you out because I think you just throw this prop out there anyways. We missed it in the AFC show, so why don't you hit us with that wide receiver?
Okay, I'll do it then. Then give me Nico Collins. Over 1,250 receiving yards. He got injured in week 5. Before his injury in week 5, he was averaging 22 yards a game. That's on pace for over 2,000 yards. Do I expect that to happen again? Absolutely not. However, he has the talent there to do it. CJ Stroud did take a step back last year. I expect him to take another step forward.
Yep.
You lose Joe Mixon. Who knows if he's going to play this year? That means you've got Nick Chubb and Damian Pierce carrying the workload in the backfield. I think that means that CJ Stroud is going to have to throw the ball even more. He's got additional weapons on the outside. You added Christian Kirk, who's going to be a hell of a wide receiver too, I think. And then you've also got Higgins and Noel that they drafted. I think that gives enough talent on the field to pull safeties over from Nico Collins more than they wanted to last year. And it's just going to open them up even more. So getting over 1,250 here, I love it, despite not being in the NFC.
Yep, that's okay. We will take it. We like making money in all the ways, even if it's in the wrong episode. Cool. Awesome. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and on Instagram, especially. Go check us out over on RotoViz if you're not already listening there. Hit all the good buttons. We're excited to see y'all and to talk more and bring you weekly NFL picks, weekly college football, and weekly soccer is kind of what we focus on, especially during the fall season. So we are excited to do that. So go check out our YouTube channel there. Mike, why don't you kick us off with your team picks, and then we'll work our way through.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers to win the NFC North at plus 165 and the Falcons over 7.5 wins at minus 140.
I'm going to take the Seahawks to make the playoffs at plus 160. You could also play that over 8.5 wins at plus 100. I'm going to take the Vikings to make the playoffs at 105.
Awesome. I will grab the Cardinals to miss the playoffs at minus 140 and give me the Bucks to win the NFC South. Mike, what's your player prop situation?
Give me Bijan Robinson to have the most rushing yards in the NFC South. Give me Mike Evans over 970.5 receiving yards and Nico Collins over 1,250 receiving yards.
Yep, and I'll take Teteroa McMillan over 4.5 receiving touchdowns at minus 150. If you can ladder that, ladder that.
Oh, I missed my Drake London pick, y'all. Drake London over 1,125.5.
Hey, we'll take it.
Receiving yards at minus 110. I'm all over the place today.
We got it in. We are good. All right. NFL season kicks off next week. We will come at you with more picks and see y'all later.